Welcome to geothoughts.eu. Here are the highlights of geopolitical developments between September 26 and October 2nd. Last week was maybe the most pivotal moment in the Russo-Ukrainian war. Russian President Putin signed treaties that illegally annexed the regions of Kherson, Zaporizhia, Luhansk, and Donetsk, which constitute 15% of Ukraine. The decision came after referendums took place in the occupied regions regarding the de facto independent republic's annexation to the Russian Federation. The polls were declared as disregarding international law by the West. However, Russia is not fully in control of the annexed regions as Ukrainian forces continue to liberate occupied territories, the most recent one being the town of Laman. This can cause intensified clashes on the battlefield, as well as the use of nuclear weapons upon Putin's statement indicating the possibility to use such weapons for the defense of Russian territory. Immediately after, President Zelensky signed the official document requesting Ukrainian membership in NATO, indicating that Ukraine has already met NATO standards. Yet Kiev's membership is dependent on each member state's approval. Two explosions affirmed the European energy crisis. Leakages were spotted in the Nord Stream pipelines in the Baltic Sea, according to German, Danish, and Swedish authorities. Seismologists believe there were several explosions that caused low levels of pressure in the pipelines. The EU leaders accused Russia of sabotage, whereas the Kremlin stated that the United States might be behind the incident as US companies make huge profits selling gas to Europe. The Nord Stream 1 pipeline had supplied 35% of all natural gas coming from Russia to Europe before Russia's Gazprom cut off the gas flow upon Brussels' declaration indicating that it will set up a cap price for Russian oil. Nord Stream 2, on the other hand, never entered service as the pipeline's license was canceled by Chancellor Scholz after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The creeping energy crisis is having an impact on the streets of Prague. Czech protesters took to the streets to protest the rising energy costs while demanding reconsideration of relations with NATO, the EU, and Russia. Although the protesters who spoke to Euractiv are against the war, they want the business to continue with Moscow due to natural gas dependency and want their government to have military neutrality. This crisis can also bring intensified discord within the EU as there is growing public anger accusing Brussels of disregarding small member states' interests. Brussels' influence in Central America may weaken in the future. The EU ambassador to Nicaragua was declared persona non grata and was asked to leave the country after the EU delegation demanded the release of political prisoners. Nicaraguan President Ortega suppresses people who criticize his government. That was all for last week's top geopolitical developments from across the world. Thank you for watching. See you next week.